It's a delight to welcome you to yet another edition of Nafdac and Your Health, brought to you by Nafdac, that agency that has the constitutional mandate to safeguard the health of Nigerians by ensuring that only wholesome food products, as well as quality and approved drugs, cosmetics, and medical equipment are made available for their use. I am Amanda Ugo. Today on Nafdac and Your Health, our focus is the efforts being made by Nafdac to protect the future of children by safeguarding them from drug abuse and underage drinking. The first segment will center on the various measures taken by Nafdac under the leadership of Professor Mojisola Adeyeye since she took over the mantle of leadership at the agency to eliminate drug abuse among children and also prevent underage drinking. And in the second segment, we'll talk about the flag off of the Catch Them Young project in secondary schools, a project targeted basically at preventing the destructive act of drug abuse and underage drinking among secondary school children. Nafdac, in the frantic effort to safeguard the health of Nigerians, have paid special attention to the young ones as they are the future of the nation, and whatever foundation they have today will go a long way in defining what becomes of our society tomorrow. In this respect, Nafdac, particularly since the inception of the leadership of Professor Mojisola Adeyeye at the agency, has accorded special attention to some activities that could put the future of the young ones into jeopardy. One of these is drug abuse.
There are some drugs that work directly on the central nervous system. Narcotics. When such drugs are used with intent to either have more strength or to have altered state of mind, that is abuse. And once, instead of carrying 10 boxes per hour, maybe you are working at the airport or whatever, now you think you can carry 100 boxes per hour. You are still the same human being. That drug is doing something that it's not supposed to do. Or if it alters the state and you start feeling you are on top of the world, you can kill, you can drive and have accidents. Some of the terrorism in different countries are linked to abuse of drug. Because when somebody has taken a drug and alters the mind, the person can kill anybody, can bomb somebody, can bomb themselves, because they are in an altered state of mind. They are not who they're supposed to be. That is why my first 2 quarters, or maybe 3 quarters, in my first term, I spent on 2018 running after tramadol and codeine. Our children were going mad. Women were selling codeine with Benylin, cough syrup with codeine. Containers of tramadol were being rained on Nigeria. And I was shocked. I was scared. Has somebody destined us to perish? Nafdac and the Port Inspection Directorate started keeping vigil at the ports. Bear in mind, from 2011 to 2018, Nafdac was shut down from the ports. We were removed from the ports. And our mandate is to control and regulate manufacture, importation, and exportation. So if you remove the people at the gate that are supposed to watch what was coming in, then the whole country became exposed. So everybody was bringing in whatever they want. Just take it to Nigeria, it will enter. So that was the first set of things that I did. We intercepted tens of containers of tramadol worth almost $2 trillion. But now NDLEA is well established, better organized. NDLEA is doing the gap that we had to fill at that point. So in terms of the control of medicines, that is what Nafdac does.
Another area Nafdac under Professor Adeyeye has focused on and has made several efforts to put things right is underage drinking.
When I got to this position in 2017, at top management meetings, they will mention sachet alcohol. I was like, what is sachet alcohol? Then they explained to me that Nafdac in the past has approved sachet alcohols. We started looking into that, and the public outcry was rising about sachet alcohols. And then I was at a place where I saw a pack of some sachets, almost like what you use for a breakfast bar. Very colorful, nice. And I said, is this breakfast bar cereal? They said it's alcohol. I said, what? So beautifully designed and so small that a child can put it in the pocket. And I said, what is the level? 30%. I said, 30% alcohol, beer has 7% or 8%. And now you have this in a nicely packed sachets, small. So we started discussing with our manufacturers that we need to find a way of getting out of this.
Part of the major steps the Nafdac DG took to eliminate underage drinking was putting an end to registering and approving sachet alcohol for production.
It is about the children. Our spirits is, many of them are 100%, you know. For adults, but generally, you know, they are not as high as that for adults. But adults can listen and change their minds, that I will not do this, I will not do that. Or police can arrest them if they do what they're not supposed to do. But children, they don't know. So whatever we did was to protect our children, was to make sure that even our Okada drivers will not, it will not be that easily accessible for them to just pop and throw away the pack. So underage drinking, extremely important for Nafdac, because we're supposed to safeguard the health of our people. And once a child starts drinking at an early age, the probability of that child becoming a drunkard is very high.
Pharmacist Adenuga also talks about some of the strategies being employed by Nafdac to eliminate underage drinking.
The narcotics and controlled substances, where I am director, we have a division, and that is a drug demand reduction. And that particular division does a lot of campaign. But right now, we are taking that campaign all across the country, but not only NCS, even in conjunction with other directorates in Nafdac, most especially the public affairs. We have a food safety and applied nutrition, and all the other directorates that are, and even in the states and the zones. So we have this program that we are starting, which is the Nafdac Catch Them Young. We believe that when we are able to carry these campaigns to children, especially children in secondary schools, they will get this information and they would be able to run with it. So for that program, we are starting it as a pilot. You know, Nigeria is a very, very large country, and we cannot take everything all at once. So we are going across every geopolitical zone of the country, and including Lagos and the Federal Capital Territory. We are going to reach out to at least two schools per senatorial district. So that means that we are reaching out to 48 schools, and we are intentional about it. We have implementers who are going to, amongst our Nafdac staff, who will be carrying out these campaigns. And the first stage is we have trained our staff to understand issues of alcohol abuse and even issues of drug abuse. And then we also discovered from different research studies that using teachers who spend a lot of time with children, at least they spend like 8 hours in their schools, and we know that when these teachers have the knowledge of alcohol abuse, they will be able to impact, and then will be able to sustain the program for a longer period. Not only that, since it's a program, we are going to evaluate it to see the impact. Nafdac has offices in every state of the country, so 36 states, including here in Lagos and then in the FCT, and we have staff. So those are the staff that we have trained.
Nafdac and Your Health continues after the short break.
Nafdac has observed with dismay the wanton illegality of unlicensed vendors peddling drugs to unsuspecting members of the public, despite efforts aimed at tackling the menace of drug hawking. Nafdac hereby advises the general public to desist from buying drugs from these merchants of death. Drugs sold by hawkers are fake, counterfeit, and substandard. The hawkers expose the drugs to inclement weather, which degrades their active ingredients since they are stored in conditions that render drugs poisonous. The drugs could therefore damage the liver and kidney or lead to the death of the consumer. Drug hawkers constitute threat to our national security. Hawking of drug is one of the main causes of drug abuse, as victims continue to fetch drugs from unregistered and unregulated hawkers. Consequently, drug abusers soon succumb to the dilemma of depression, personality disorders, suicidal thoughts, mental disorder, sleep problems, organ failure, damaged immune system, memory loss, anxiety, social and economic problems. Nafdac hereby warns those involved in the nefarious act of hawking drugs to desist from this illegal act or face the wrath of the law. Nafdac, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Welcome back. You are still watching Nafdac and Your Health.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, Nafdac, as part of measures to tackle drug abuse among children and underage drinking, recently flagged off its nationwide sensitization campaign against drug abuse, substandard and falsified products, aimed at recruiting secondary school students into the fight through its Catch Them Young program. The flag off, which took place at Government Secondary School Tundung Wada, Abuja, was also to inaugurate the Nafdac Consumer Safety Club in secondary schools. The Director General of Nafdac, Professor Mojusola Adeyeye, who was represented at the occasion by her Special Assistant Lagos, Dr. Gbenga Fajemirokun, explained the reasons the Catch Them Young was initiated, as well as the significance of the initiative.
This is extremely important because of the segment of the nation that is most affected, the youths, and by extension, our teenagers. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, Nafdac, as part of our mandate, seeks to collaborate with stakeholders on drug reduction programs, such as drug abuse campaign to secondary schools, to check the menace of drug abuse among young Nigerians. It is estimated that 14.4%, or about 14.3 billion, you can even make that about 28.4 million, because the population of Nigeria is around 200 million today, are victims of drug abuse. This is alarming. Research findings show that 1 out of every 4 high-risk drug users have been arrested for drug-related offenses, including possession, theft, sex work, burglary, and shoplifting. Note that this data only shows the number of arrests. If we have to consider that most crimes go unreported, then we will see that we have a huge problem on our hands. 2/3 of people who abuse drugs report having serious problems as a result. These problems include missing missing school or work, doing poor jobs at work or school, and even neglected family or children. This shows us the bane of our society and why we must do all we can to protect our nation. The Nafdac Campaign program is a comprehensive and coordinated intensive program that is focused on secondary schools, designed to reduce the prevalence of drug abuse among secondary school students. Drug addiction can arise from both legal, such as prescribed medicines, and illicit drugs.
In a similar vein, the principal of the school, Mr. Joseph Akor, advised the students to completely refrain from getting hooked on drugs. He said drug abuse can destroy their health and future and eventually claim their lives. In her remarks, the Director of Narcotics and Controlled Substances, Mrs. Yeduni Adenuga, charged the students to always report peer pressure to indulge in illicit drugs to the school authority and shun the bandwagon. The Nafdac Catch Them Young project will in the coming weeks be taking round secondary schools across the geopolitical zones of the nation.
And now, moving on to Nafdac news updates. The Investigation and Enforcement Directorate of Nafdac recently carried out enforcement operations at number 89 Marine Road, Oluwole Market, Waterside, Apapa, Lagos. It was discovered after thorough surveillance that there were illegal activities of production of unhygienic sachet water at Oluwole Market, which were being sold and distributed in the open market. Sequel to these discoveries, a team of officers visited the identified location in Oluwole Market, Apapa, Lagos. The team discovered that number 89 Marine Road, Oluwole Market had been converted to illegal production factory where counterfeiting, adulteration, and cloning of duly registered brands of sachet water was being carried out. The team also discovered thousands of bags of counterfeited sachet water already produced and ready for distribution. The environment of the factory was unhygienic as the illegal factory was situated beside a very dirty and smelly canal. The location address for the illegal production site was completely different from the address on the already produced counterfeited sachet water brands. Over 2,500 bags of sachet water were discovered and evacuated from the location, while the remaining were destroyed on the spot. All the production machines and equipment as well as other items used for the illegal production were dismantled and evacuated. The factory has since been sealed up while investigation continues. The street value of the sachet water was estimated to be about 1 million naira. Nafdac therefore urges members of the public to be vigilant while purchasing packaged water and should also endeavor to report suspicious activities to the nearest Nafdac office for prompt action. That was Nafdac Update. You have been updated.
That is all we have for you on this edition of Nafdac and Your Health. We'll be back again next week with another incisive package. But before then, why not join Nafdac in the efforts to nip the menace of fake, substandard or unapproved food products, drugs, cosmetics and medical equipment in the bud? If you have any information on these criminal acts, please reach out to Nafdac.
You can reach Nafdac via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email Nafdac at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email reforms@nafdac.gov.ng or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. Nafdac, customer focused, agency minded.
Let us join hands to safeguard the health of Nigerians. Do not be a party to the production, importation, distribution, marketing, advertising, or selling of unwholesome food products, fake or substandard drugs, cosmetics, and medical devices. By doing so, you are endangering the lives of the Nigerian people. Till we meet again next week, stay healthy.